Okie dokie. We are live. What's going, ladies and gentlemen, members of the Conscious Approach community? Thank you all for tuning in to this latest edition of the Conscious Approach video series on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. My name is JV Wins. As always, that is Dogon SS. Shouts out to my Florida State Seminoles who put that ass whooping on the LSU Tigers.
Y'all did that. I ain't gonna lie.
Put that
Y'all
ass
did.
whooping on them Tigers, and really, the final score was not as indicative of as much of an ass whooping as it actually was because they scored a little garbage touchdown at the end of the game.
Mhm.
But be that as it may, shouts out to my Florida State Seminoles. Um, Hopefully the quarterback stays upright. He do a lot of that running around, but it was a good first. It was a good first win. I'll put it that way.
Y'all
And the
did.
Canes won too. You know, y'all beat little Miami of Ohio, so I'm gonna go
Hey,
ahead
bro,
and
we
shout
did
that
our
out.
thing. We handled business. We handled business.
So we'll see, man. College football is back. Of course, NFL starts this week. So a real good time to be a fan of sports, man. Really is.
We
But
back.
yeah, and if you enjoy the commentary in this or any of the content on this channel, and if you are so inclined, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. Let us know what you think. Otherwise, thank you very much for tuning in. And with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and get started. And the first thing that we are going to discuss is Deandre Ayton.
You.
Deandre Ayton, currently the starting center for the Phoenix Suns, but it is not sports that has Deandre Ayton um, on the tip of the internet's finger currently. It is a video that has gone viral that appears to show him ironing the hair of his girlfriend.
Oh.
The only reason why this is even trending in the manner that it is because his girlfriend apparently is a sex worker, a porn
Oh.
star.
Oh.
Now,
Oh.
we talk about this on this channel quite often. Pro athletes, entertainers, these men who get into these situations with these sex workers because regular women just don't do it for these dudes anymore.
Apparently.
So we are just gonna go ahead and get into it straight away. Let me go ahead and share this screen. This is courtesy of Hot New Hip Hop. It says Deandre Ayton roasted for a video of him ironing porn star Kat Levia's hair. I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly. Hopefully I am, but if anyone who follows this stuff wants to correct me in the comments, I'm pretty sure they will do so. It says it says Deandre Ayton has gone through a lot as a member of the Phoenix Suns. Overall, he has done a decent job as their starting center. However, in recent years, he has gotten into it with the team's former head coach. Now that Monty Williams is gone, Monty Williams is that former head coach. Aiden remains on the team. With Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker on the roster, this team has a real chance to shine. Although we truly won't know for sure until the team finally steps on the court together in October. For now, Aiden has to deal with a new controversy that has crept up on social media. A video of him with porn star Kat Levia has just gone viral. Overall, the video is quite unique as it isn't just him secretly being recorded. Instead, it is a clip of him willingly ironing Kat Levia's hair, all
Oh.
with a big smile on his face.
Oh.
Due to the fact that Levia is a sex worker, many are trying to make Ayton out to be a simp. Additionally, they are comparing him to the likes of Zion Williamson, who was outed for the Mariah Mills drama. And for anyone who is unaware of that story, we did a few videos on that. And not only is Mariah Mills, who is also a porn star, wrapped up with Zion, but she is wrapped up with Zion publicly because Zion went public with the impending birth of his first child with another sex worker, a stripper. Go figure.
Yeah.
So the internet has just kind of been going in on DeAndre Ayton, basically juxtaposing him to Zion. Um, we'll see a few of these memes popping up here. We'll play a few of them. This one here says DeAndre Ayton, these NBA players can't stay away from the porn stars. And this, of course, is that very brief video of him ironing said girlfriend's hair. Right?
Unreal.
So You got that going on. And then he's getting clowned. The article goes on to say, interestingly enough, Aiden and Levia have both come out and shown how they have been hanging out together since 2019. However, fans still had a whole lot to say about this situation. Some pointed the finger at Devin Booker and how his teammates only have him to look up to. Moreover, some continue to make the Zion comparison while also making some truly hilarious memes. It was yet another one of those situations that NBA Twitter was made for. Unfortunately, Aiton gets caught in the crosshairs. So here's a couple of these here. Um, this is one that says Zion seeing the video of DeAndre Ayton and porn star Cat Levia.
It's my turn. It is. You told me it was my turn.
You can talk all that you want to, yell and scream. You lost.
It is my
You
turn.
lost the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I lost that guy.
And then we got another one here. DeAndre. Oh no, that was the original video. DeAndre Ayton and Zion Williamson when it comes to bagging porn stars.
So they Kobe and Shaq with
Basically. And then here we'll do one more here. Zion Williamson after watching DeAndre Ayton's video with Cat Levia.
If that was me, I'm just saying, if that was me, they are lucky that was not me. Because if the circumstances were such as you have described them, but with me in them, that's a very different and scary outcome for those involved. If
Yeah, that's the conversation. That's the conversation.
Yeah. So, there you have it, man. The internet is having a real good time with this guy. But if you ask me, he brought it on to himself. So, what do you make of this situation? What is it with these NBA players and their propensity for, entangling themselves with sex workers?
I think this is a new person thing. So, and what I mean by new persons for all of our new viewers, what I mean by a new person is somebody that was born in the 2000s, 2000 and beyond. So DeAndre Ayton, I mean, this guy's a kid, although he does look like he has a Social Security account, right? But no, he is a young man. I don't know what, 22, 23. So he's a young dude. And of course, she's playing the prototypical, right, Brittany Renner Kruger role. And she's just, latched herself onto one. And he's falling right into it. And so what I mean by the younger person thing is, well, we had to, I'll speak for myself. And I had to, watch, Cinemax and those types of things, scrambly channels, just so I can see one scrambly areola. I saw one. That's what I would say. I mean, I'm looking for that. Those were the days when I was young and trying to explore. DeAndre Ayton, on the other hand, well, he grew up in a generation where he didn't have to do any of that. Well, it was readily available and easily accessible. And so, we can sprinkle this all on the, LaMelos, Alonzos, all of these new guys that are doing this trend where they're basically engaging with sex workers. Well, they grew up basically being fans of sex workers. So when they actually have the ability to go get one, they seem to want to lunge at the opportunity instead of looking at it as, these ladies are sex workers and they belong to the game. Instead of thinking like that, they go, hey, I want to go experience that. And here's the trap. First of all, your girl don't even have to be a professional actress, to get you going crazy in the bedroom. Now, as a young person, when you're young and impressionable, a girl can put that on you in a kind of way where you kind of lose your footing. You don't know what's up or what's down because she's putting it on you like that. So, and this is for hand-to-hand, regular, everyday growing up in America. These guys have access to women who do this professionally. So when they get their claws on this guy, they blow his mind. Hey, come back tomorrow. Do that again. That's what they want. Come back tomorrow. Next thing you know, it's, oh, she's not that bad. Yeah, because she's over every day. Then you get used to it. Now you find yourself, oh, I'm in love with a sex worker, he says. Right? And so I found myself in relationships as a young person that I didn't even think that I would get in, all because it's getting put on me in a certain kind of way. So it's no young person is above this. They are just, everybody knows their life, everybody knows their story. And so when it happens, everybody can see it. And then the women that are getting them are women who are veteran, no pun intended, hookers. How do you feel about this, man? How do you feel about this whole dynamic with Mr. Deandre Ayton?
Shouts out to Jalen Rose and David Jacoby. I used to watch the Jalen and Jacoby show that used to come on ESPN. Another good show that ESPN got rid of because ESPN just loves to get rid of stuff that's actually good. I'm seeing. And they used to have a segment on their show called Cultural or Regional. And they would play these viral clips, or they would play something going on in sports. Because, you know, David Jacoby, he's like a white guy. I don't know what he is, but he looks Caucasian American. And then Jalen Rose is black or African American. And so they would play these clips, and they would try to discuss, okay, is this cultural or regional? Is this a race thing where it's like, okay, black people do this or white people or whatever do this activity? Or is it a regional thing where it's like, this is something that goes on in this part of the country? And it was interesting. It was funny to hear them two go back and forth on whether something was cultural or regional with the two perspectives that they come from. I think when it comes to this dynamic of dating, getting pregnant, getting into a relationship, getting married to sex workers, we have to ask the question, is this cultural or not necessarily regional, but is this cultural or not? Mm-hmm. You know, basically, you know, because, and here's why I bring that up. There are not black men are not the only participants in the NBA, just like black men are not the only participants in the NFL. Even though it's predominantly black, you got people from all over the place who play in the NBA and the NFL, especially the NBA. The NBA is extremely, at this point, international. You can argue that 3 of the top 5 players in the whole league are foreign born. When you think about Giannis, Jokic, you want to throw Luka in there. You can very easily argue that some of the majority, or at least half of the best players in the league right now are born outside of this country. So it ain't just black guys who are in the NBA. However, and you can correct me if you see something different. This is my observation. And anybody who's in the comments, if you observe anything differently, feel free to correct me or at least, you know, throw your 2 cents in there. I am only seeing this phenomenon play out with high profile black people, black men in particular. Because we see it sometimes in the entertainment industry, although not as much. It's mainly with these pro athletes. And I'm only seeing this kind of thing play out with these black guys, mostly NBA and NFL players. Because you see white guys in the NBA, I don't see this as much, where they're just getting with sex workers, porn stars, Instagram models, so on and so forth. I'm not seeing it in the NFL. I'm not seeing these white guys in the NFL. You know, I'm not seeing it as much. I don't see it. Again, if you see it more of, and I just don't know about it, correct me. But what I'm seeing mostly is Zion, Paul George. Now we got Deandre Ayton. You know, you can believe some of the tea leaves of things from other athletes where they are smart enough about it not going public. But what I'm seeing, even Klay Thompson, I think his girl is an Instagram chick. Like, what I'm seeing is with mostly these black athletes. I'm seeing these sex worker relationships, these porn star relationships, these OnlyFans chicks relationships. Devin Booker, go right on down the line. And so, what I'm trying to understand is why. And I think we need to have a cultural conversation as to why this is something that I am seeing playing out with the majority of these black pro athletes. Because to me, at this point, you can't even limit it to just, oh, it's these football players and NFL and basketball players, or even some other pro athletes. This is a pro athlete thing. Yeah, maybe it's a pro athlete thing, but more specifically, it's a black pro athlete thing. That's just kind of how I'm reading it, and it disappoints me because it on the surface it looks as though optically black men have a higher propensity for than other kinds of men for simpish behavior, and we need to unpack that. And maybe unpacking that is a longer conversation than we've allotted for this particular video. But I think we need to pack that because I'm not understanding what's going on here. And it isn't, obviously it's an economic thing, it's an upbringing thing. It's more than likely the impetus of this is rooted in socioeconomics, as is a lot of the things that we talk about on this channel more often than not. And so maybe if we peel back the layers, we can sort of dissect what that's all about. But that's what I'm seeing here. I don't see it as much. And I'm not sitting around here saying you need to be a one-woman man or be a husband material guy or get into a relationship and do the monogamy thing. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, what is it with you black dudes and your need to just do this sex worker thing? And you don't just do it the Drake way, where you make her sign an NDA, you have her fun with her, and then she's out the door the next day. You're actually impregnating these women. You're getting married to them. You're getting into cohabitation setups with them. Why? Like what is it with some of these guys where it doesn't click that you ask the question, does it make sense for me to have unprotected sex with or marry a woman whose business it is to get the attention and have sex with other men? We got to figure that part out. It's a cultural thing because I'm not seeing it with these white athletes, these Latino athletes, these Asian athletes or athletes of Asian descent. However, I apologize if I sound a bit ignorant with my rundown there, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm not seeing that anywhere else. I don't see it. And then there's also the culture of the various sports, because there's black guys who are in Major League Baseball. I don't hear this as much with pro baseball players who are black. It's these football guys and these NBA guys. It's these NFL and these NBA and these college football, these NCAA guys. We're seeing this. And that's where the cultural observation takes place. I'm not seeing it as much with the white guys. I'm not seeing it as much. And I am merely asking the question why.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can only speculate and project, but I really think it's just these guys growing up with Insta feeds and seeing all of this ass when they growing up. So when they finally get of age and they finally got pulled, hey, I'm the one that caught that touchdown the other night. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm in the league, by the way. She going to jump for that. And they do. And what they do is they're young guys getting in situationships with sex workers because they keep hitting her up or whatever it is, but then they get familiar with it and then they get caught up. And the reason why I think is with the athletes, with the black athletes or what have you, because it's more of us per capita, so you're going to see a lot more. Now, granted, I'm not saying that whatever, but the only white guy I know is Jimmy G, and he got praised for it. Oh, yeah, he's dating a porn star. Look at Jimmy G. All American Jimmy G out here slinging the porn stars. But when it's the black guys, it's tisk. It's not just that, but I'm just saying when they did Jimmy G, it was praising them. But everybody else is, as they should, get shamed for that. So, but I just think it's just a situation where the young guys are just growing up seeing this stuff. It just happens, and it's just a market. So I want that from the guys that are growing up, And then the older women knowing this is an industry and there's crops every year. And so when they're not gonna, because they have no real skills, so they run out and get surgeries and all this other stuff so they can get something. It's all part of the system. So there's the industry of wanting to be a housewife, and there's an industry of young dudes that are coming up with all kinds of thoughts in their head, and then whoop de whoop. I see it more with NBA players than NFL and stuff like that, but still, it's going on in both sports. You can name names on both sides.
It's incredibly prevalent with both. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the best I can do with it. That's what I can see. But their personal desires I don't really think they want to do it. Maybe I'm giving them a benefit of the doubt, because I really don't think they intend to cuff something that's literally for the streets. But I just think they just get roped up in it, and they're young and they don't know no better. So
yeah, I feel you. I think that there's an element of this I think that there is a desensitization factor. It's just it's desensitized culturally though, because it ain't the money thing. It ain't the. It's interesting. We'll have to peel that back at a different time, because you can't tell me that Patrick Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, these other guys, they lived in a tunnel the same way that these other guys did. They all live in these tunnels, especially the ones that play at the highest elite levels. Yet there's a separation at some point, socially, culturally, however you want to look at it, where there's a value set inherent in some of these guys that you don't see in some of the other black athletes. And it manifests itself in your decision making when it comes to women. Like these guys, they all, like, I'm pretty sure, push comes to shove, some of these non-black athletes, they look at and fancy the born stars and the sex workers too, but there's an extra step that's taken. And I honestly think that it's become a running joke. Like, I think it's becoming a running joke.
Oh, that's what it is now.
It's like throwing darts at a dartboard. These chicks are looking at the latest black athletes coming down the pipeline, and they're just throwing darts at a dartboard. Which one looks like a target? They know Trevor Lawrence ain't a target. Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, I'm not even going to bother with that. They know better. But let me holler at Zion, Deandre Ayton, Paul George, Devin Booker. It ain't the two-parent household thing. You know what I'm saying? So
but these guys DMing them.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just there's a thing that clicks where it's like they really are looking at these chicks as regular women, even though they're not. And these other guys, and it's not every black athlete, it's just statistically is what it's looking like mostly, because you got a lot of black athletes who got sense, they ain't gonna do that either. But most of these non-black athletes know better, and they know the place that these women deserve to reside in. And some of these other guys really are looking at them as regular women. And it's like, bro, they're not regular. Their business is to be with as many men as who are willing to afford it, who can pay for it. So I don't know. I think very much like Zion that this is simpish behavior. I do. I think Ayton is bordering on simp behavior, and he's 25, by the way.
Okay.
So you know, it looks like simpish behavior to me. Even if she wasn't a sex worker, I'm more likely than not going to be on a video on my social ironing my girl's hair with a curling. Like, I'm not going to do it, even if she wasn't a sex worker. But the fact that she is, if for no other reason, it opens you up to a certain level of social scrutiny that you should hold yourself above. And these dudes just don't seem to care. They don't. They don't. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. They need to talk to some of these old heads, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. And last little tidbit here. Because she wouldn't have caught me on camera doing that, because I wouldn't have did it in the first place. Fellas, when they volunteer you to do some sucker stuff, you know what I'm talking about. They be trying you to see if you actually gonna do that sucker stuff. Don't do it. Don't give them the satisfaction. You can say no to that. No, I'm not doing that. Don't even ask me that again. They're gonna try you, bro. But he too young. He don't know that. You know, I had to find that out at like 34, 33. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, bro. So I don't think you would have done that at 25. I don't think you would have done that at 25.
I'm my whole thing. I don't mean to harp on this, but I'm so like, oh yeah, shit, I don't care. Yeah, where at? Hey, but what you? Oh, you filming me? Oh, you crazy? And then now she posted it, and I just got because I'm. But now if she asked me to do that, I'm like, hey, you know, you gonna have to. You know what I'm saying? You can handle that. So,
I'm giving you more credit than you're giving yourself. I've known you the majority of my life. I don't think at 25
yeah,
you
I'm
would have
trying.
been caught dead.
Young me
on
probably mad as
Instagram.
hell.
Yeah. I don't think you would have got caught dead on Instagram curling your girl's hair or straightening it or whatever the hell he was doing. I don't know what it is. And I just don't. It's becoming a running joke, and it's starting to look like black men have some sort of a simp gene, and that's what I'm afraid of. Is that it's becoming running knowledge that you don't mess with those other guys because they know better. But those black boys, yeah, they got the simp gene in them, so let's get them. And that's what I'm afraid of. And guys like him are just reinforcing that notion. So,
oh my god, hey, take care, Mr. Ayton. Take care, man. Godspeed.
Hopefully it works out for you, bro. Hopefully it works out.